I know the layout. I'll tell you about it on the way.
Sylvester Stallone is an American actor, screenwriter, and director who has gone from poverty to a multi-million-dollar fortune. In this video, you will learn how he achieved such success and where he is now. Sylvester Stallone, how Rambo lives and how he spends his millions. Sylvester was born on July 6, 1946 in New York. His mother, Jacqueline, or Jackie, was a big fan of actor Tyrone Power and wanted to name her firstborn in his honor. But upon receiving the birth certificate, she saw a different name. The boy's father, Frank, gave him the name Michael Sylvester Gardenzio Stallone. Frank was an immigrant from Sicily, owned a small chain of hairdressers, and was infamous for his violent temper. Jackie, who grew up in a wealthy family of a successful lawyer, connected her life with a man who was a serial cheater and a tyrant at home. The first years of his life, Sylvester spent most of his time in the house of a nanny hired by his parents. He saw them on weekends, but these meetings were very reserved. The boy felt unloved. In 1950, the family had a second son, Frank Jr., and their wealth grew. But Stallone Sr. didn't change, so in 1956, Jackie filed for divorce. Sylvester stayed with his father and tried desperately to earn his love, but it was in vain.
These your parents?
Yeah, that's both of them there.
Is this you?
Yeah, that's me when I was 8 years old. That's the Italian stallion when he was a baby.
He had other problems, like his birth defect. Due to an obstetrician's error, the left half of Sylvester's face remained paralyzed, which affected his speech. Peers bullied him, so Stallone decided that he needed to build muscle mass. For this purpose, he used car parts from the landfill and construction materials. And when he got older, he almost lived in the gym. By 13, Sylvester was expelled from 14 schools because of his aggressive behavior. At 15, he found himself at the Charlotte Hall Military Academy. At the same time, he moved in with his mother, but she would ignore him. In her entire life, she only kissed her son once, right after the divorce. Back then, Stallone started boxing and became interested in soccer. After receiving a high school diploma, he entered college, where he began acting in the student theater. Then in 1965, Sylvester went to study in Switzerland at the American College while working as a personal trainer. Later, there was a theory that he did it to evade serving in the army and being sent to Vietnam. In 1991, the actor filed a libel suit against a tabloid and won the case. Upon returning to America in 1967, Sylvester enrolled at the University of Miami as a drama major, finally deciding to connect his life with performing. In 1969, Stallone dropped out of the university and decided to conquer the New York theaters. The young man tried to act in films, but cameo roles didn't solve financial problems. At some point, Sylvester found himself homeless, sleeping at the train station for 3 weeks. Then he came across an ad about casting for the movie The Party at Kitty and Studs. It was an adult movie, but there wasn't much choice. For 2 days of filming in 1970, Sylvester received $200. When he became famous, the film was re-released as Italian Stallion. After several other tiny film roles, in 1971, the aspiring actor took part in an erotic theatrical production of Score, which was shown in 23 theaters in New York. For the most part, the directors refused Stallone because of his speech impediment, so he earned his living as a doorman, bouncer in a restaurant, and even cage cleaner in a menagerie. Sylvester shared an apartment in New York with his girlfriend Sasha Zak. They married in 1974 and later had 2 sons, Sage and Sergio. The youngest has been diagnosed with autism and doesn't appear in public. The elder Sage managed to star in several films, but died young in 2012 from a heart attack. In 1974, Sylvester got a role in the movie The Lords of Flatbush. According to him, for it, he received 25 t-shirts as a payout, after which he moved to Hollywood. In 1975, the actor starred in the films The Prisoner of Second Avenue, Capone, Farewell, My Lovely, episodes of several TV series, and the fantastic action movie Death Race 2000. For the latter, Sylvester received $700 a week. In March of the same year, the actor watched the Muhammad Ali fight and got so inspired that he decided to write a film script about a boxer who never gives up. He did not leave the house for 92 hours while writing, and the story was a success by pure luck. Stallone auditioned for another movie, but he was turned down. During the audition, he mentioned that he also wrote scripts, and the producers asked him to send them the Rocky script. At first, the studio offered Sylvester $150,000 with the condition that another actor would play the lead role. After long negotiations, the producers agreed that Rocky would be Stallone himself. For this, the actor agreed to reduce his payout to $23,000. They say that at that moment, there was only $106 in his bank account, and he could not afford to keep his dog, so he ended up selling it for $50. To get the pet back, Sylvester had to pay $3,000 and promise a small role in Rocky. By the way, the Bull Mastiff also starred in the film.
Look at his face, 64 fights. Look at that nose. See that nose? That nose ain't never been broken. 64 fights. I've had guys busted on it. I had guys chewing on it, twisting it, punching it. I mean, whack, boom. These guys are hitting my nose all the time. Never broke. I'm very proud of that. It's not rare. That's rare.
Filming was difficult, as was the preparation for it. Stallone even quit smoking when he realized that he couldn't last 5 minutes in the ring without being out of breath. The movie turned out to be incredibly successful and received 10 Oscar nominations. At that time, Stallone became the third actor in history nominated for this award simultaneously for Best Actor and Best Screenplay. The creators won 3 statuettes, including one for Best Film. After the film Fist and Stallone's directorial debut, Paradise Alley, he released the sequel to Rocky. While preparing for filming, Sylvester agreed to compete with his coach in the bench press and seriously injured his pectoral muscle. Since then, half of his chest has been more sinewy than the other. In 1981, the action movie Nighthawks and the sports drama Escape to Victory about a soccer team of World War II prisoners were released. After filming, Sylvester said that playing soccer was harder for him than boxing in Rocky. By the way, the next film released was Rocky III, for which Sylvester received $7 million, followed by the premiere of First Blood.
Don't push it. I'll give you a war you won't believe.
Stallone, as the screenwriter, participated in the casting for the lead role, rejected several candidates, and eventually played it himself. He received $3.5 million for his work. In 1984, Sylvester received a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He also tried a genre change by starring in the musical comedy Rhinestone, for which he received $4 million and an anti-award Golden Raspberry. For the sake of this role, he refused to work in the films Romancing the Stone and Beverly Hills Cop that became super hits, which he later greatly regretted. A year later, critics gave a lukewarm rating to the continuation of Rambo's story, although President Ronald Reagan praised Sylvester Stallone for creating a new symbol for the American Army. For this film, the actor again received the Golden Raspberry. More success awaited Rocky IV, for which he received $12 million and the Golden Raspberry Anti-Award as the worst director.
See, I fight, so you don't have to fight. 'Cause I want you to use your head for something instead of a punching bag like I do.
Your head doesn't look like a punching bag.
Meanwhile, Stallone's wife was tired of enduring her husband's numerous infidelities and filed for divorce, demanding compensation of $33 million. The last straw was Sylvester's affair with Bridget Nielsen. They met on the set of Rocky IV and got married in 1985, but the marriage lasted only 2 years. In the end, Bridget sued Stallone for $1 million. In 1986, Stallone starred in the action movie Cobra, for which he received $13 million.
Hey, dirtbag. You're a lousy shot. I don't like lousy shots. You wasted a kid. For nothing. Now I think it's time to waste you.
Interestingly, the main character's car, a 1950 Mercury Monterey, belonged to Sylvester in real life. 9 years later, the vehicle was stolen from his garage. It was returned in 2009, and along with the car, he got $3 million in compensation. Stallone's next project was the film Over the Top, for $13 million. And in 1988, Rambo 3 was released. For his work, the actor received $16 million and a Golden Raspberry. In the next few years, the films Lock Up, Tango and Cash, Rocky V, Oscar, Demolition Man, and Cliffhanger were released. And for each of them, the actor received $15 million. Sylvester starred in Cliffhanger to overcome his fear of heights.
You want to do it? Do it. Now. You live with it.
At the same time, Stallone appeared as a police sergeant whose mother meddles with investigations in the comedy Stop, or My Mom Will Shoot.
Mom, stay out of this, okay?
Joe, wave to the crowd.
Mom,
Joe.
God damn it!
Hey, you don't swear to your mother.
Hey, butt out! Hey, my mother, relax.
Hey, it's your mother, so you do what she tells you to do.
This film, for which he was again awarded the Golden Raspberry, the actor considers the worst in his career. He agreed to star in it to spite Arnold Schwarzenegger, who spread a rumor that he wanted to get this role himself. Of course, Arnold was just pranking his friend, but Sylvester didn't find out about it until many years later. In the late 1980s, Stallone met model Jennifer Flavin. He called her his ideal, selfless, loving, and so patient. However, this did not prevent Sylvester from constantly having affairs. In 1995, Stallone reined himself in and begged for Jennifer's forgiveness on his knees and hasn't been seen cheating since. A few years later, the couple got married and had 3 daughters. Interestingly enough, when the journalist from the publication Star decided to give Sylvester an album with all his partners for his 50th birthday, it turned out that there were 595 of them. Among the actor's lovers were the singer Cher, who later called the man a Neanderthal, models Linda Evangelista, Cindy Crawford, Naomi Campbell, and Janice Dickinson. Meanwhile, the actor added several movies to his filmography. Among them were the films The Specialist, with a payout of $12 million, action films Assassins and Judge Dredd for $15 million each, and for the film Daylight, Sylvester earned $17.5 million and overcame another fear of confined spaces. To diversify his resume and play a more serious role, Stallone agreed to star in the thriller Copland for only $80,000.
There's got to be a way out of this for everyone. So I said, why don't we all go in tomorrow together?
Freddie, I invited men, cops, good men to live in this town. And these men to make a living.
According to him, it was an interesting experience and he enjoyed it, but it did not help his career in any way, as well as his health, because of weight gain for the role. Sylvester got sciatica, heart palpitations, digestive problems, and headaches. This was followed by the failed comedy, an Alan Smithy film, Burn Hollywood Burn, the cartoon Ants, where the actor voiced one of the roles. In 2000, the action movie Get Carter premiered, for which Sylvester received $20 million. In the same year, he was awarded another Golden Raspberry as the worst actor of the century. Sylvester wrote the script and starred in his next project, Driven, in 2001, for which he received $20 million. This film became famous as the most unrealistic film about motorsports. Then, after the films Detox, with a payout of $20 million, Avenging Angelo, Shade, the comedy Spy Kids 3D, Game Over, for which he received the Golden Raspberry, and the TV series Las Vegas, Stallone returned to his legendary characters in both Rocky Balboa and Rambo.
And there isn't one of us that doesn't want to be someplace else. But this is what we do. Who we are.
In 2007, he was caught importing banned hormones from Australia to build muscle mass. The actor pleaded guilty and eventually paid more than $11,000 in fines and court costs. In 2009, Stallone appeared in the Bollywood film Damn Love, and a year later, he assembled the old guard and presented the action movie The Expendables to the audience.
Yeah, should have shot him when I had a chance.
Big Barney Ross.
Bigger Trent Mouse.
What are you doing? Praying for Brooke?
Could be.
Despite being nominated for the Golden Raspberry for directing, the film received high ratings and paid off 3 times its cost at the box office. In addition, The Expendables made Sylvester the only person in the history of Hollywood who starred in films that got first places in the box office charts for 5 decades in a row. At the same time, on the set, he once again had to struggle because Sylvester suffered 14 injuries, as well as bronchitis and shingles. In 2011, Sylvester's voice could be heard in the film Zookeeper, and in the same year, he was inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame. Some fans of this sport were not thrilled because Stallone didn't appear in the ring but only played in the movies. By the way, the actor is connected with boxing not only through his role as Rocky. In the 1980s, he was the manager of a boxing match, and in the 2000s, he launched the reality show The Contender, where participants fought for a contract in the professional ring. In 2012, the sequel to The Expendables was released, which turned out to be even more spectacular, and Stallone earns $15 million. And soon, he added another movie to his filmography called Bullet to the Head. Stallone received $12 million for that work. This was followed by collaboration with Iron Arnold in the action movie Escape Plan, for which Sylvester received $10 million. The sports film Grudge Match, the drama Reach Me, and the third part of The Expendables. For all these films, he received $15 million. In 2015, Stallone voiced the cartoon Ratchet & Clank and presented another continuation of the story about the legendary boxer Creed, for which he received the Golden Globe Award.
You're gonna take a beat, you're gonna take this, you're gonna get knocked down, you're gonna get up, and you're gonna see if you got the right thing. But you gotta work hard. I swear to God, if you're not gonna do it, I'm out.
After 3 years, the second part was released, and between them, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and the cartoon Animal Crackers. Soon, Stallone appeared in such films as Backtrace, the second and third parts of the fantastic action movie Escape Plan. In 2019, the fifth film about Rambo, with the telling title Rambo: Last Blood, was released.
I want you to feel my rage, my hate, when I reach into your chest and rip out your heart!
According to critics, the ending of the story didn't turn out to be very successful, but Sylvester is sure that Rambo can still be called the personification of young soldiers and wants one of the directors to shoot a prequel about his childhood and youth. In 2021, the actor played King Shark in the superhero action movie The Suicide Squad, based on the comics of the same name, and in August 2022, appeared as an aging superhero in Samaritan. Stallone has big plans ahead. He recently returned to television in the crime series Tulsa King, will appear in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and is preparing to release the fourth part of The Expendables. And he also intends to expand his franchise by shooting a TV series and a female version of the beloved blockbuster. It also became known that Sylvester is preparing a reality show with his family members. Although Stallone mostly appears on screen with a gun at the ready, in real life, after one of his friends was shot, he calls for a ban on guns in the United States. Since childhood, Sylvester has been fond of painting. 2 of his works were even sold for $90,000, but this is only a small part of his fortune, estimated at $400 million. In addition to movies, Sylvester wrote several books about training, tried to launch a sports nutrition company, unsuccessfully, and published the magazine Sly with help tips and interviews with celebrities. This idea was also not very successful, with only 4 issues published. Another business failure happened with the Planet Hollywood restaurants. Stallone co-owned the chain with Bruce Willis and Arnold Schwarzenegger, but the establishments went bankrupt. Realizing that he was best at producing media content, in 2018, Sylvester founded his own film studio. He also sometimes agrees to star in commercials. He promoted the British bakery chain Warburton's and even Japanese sausages. But perhaps the most famous advertising campaign with him is the one for the Versace home collection. He appeared together with Claudia Schiffer as Adam and Eve. By the way, Stallone was friends with Gianni Versace and was a regular guest of the Italian fashion house shows. But the actor refused one advertising offer It was in the late 80s when an American beer brand offered him $5 million on the condition that he cut his hair. Sylvester Stallone spends his millions on an impressive collection of cars. In his garage, there are Bugatti Veyron, Aston Martin DBS, Bentley Continental GTC, Ferrari 612 Scaglietti, Ferrari 599 GTB Florano, Mercedes SL65, Mercedes E-Class, Porsche Panamera, Chevrolet Camaro, Ford Mustang, one of the most popular classic cars, Corvette 68, and even a rare Ford from 1932. We must not forget the luxury Cadillac Escalade. Stallone invested more than $400,000 in the design of this car. In addition, Sylvester loves motorcycles and expensive watches. He has a gold Rolex Submariner with a black dial, the cost of which is $20,000, as well as a GMT Master 2 Rolex made with 18-karat white gold for $7,500. However, one should not think that Stallone spends his millions only on himself. For decades, he auctioned off the original props from Rocky and eventually raised about $10,000 for the Canadian Diabetes Association. Stallone donated several million more to the project to combat childhood epilepsy. In the last decades, Sylvester has lived in a mansion in Beverly Hills. Its interiors varied from pompous neoclassicism with columns, curtains, gilding, and statues to modern bright decor. At the end of 2021, Adele bought this house for $58 million. Today, Sylvester owns a mansion in Palm Beach, Florida, with a pool and an outdoor jacuzzi worth $35.4 million, and an estate in Hidden Hills, California, bought in February this year for $18.2 million. The house has 5 bedrooms with bathrooms, a kitchen with granite countertops, a dining room, and also a stable on the territory. Previously, Stallone owns a villa in Miami with 3 guest houses, which he sold for $24 million. A house in Coconut Grove, Florida. The actor received $16 million for it in 1999, as well as a house in La Quinta, California. Sylvester and his wife bought a Mediterranean-style mansion in 2010 for $4.5 million and sold it in 2020 for $3.1 million. Sylvester Stallone is a whole era in cinema. Despite critical reviews of his acting and a string of nominations for the Golden Raspberry, he became a fan favorite. And what is your favorite Stallone role?
You're not as fast as you think.
I'm beginning to sense that.
Shakira. How the Colombian pop diva lives and how she spends her millions. Shakira Isabel Mebarak Ripoll was born on February 2, 1977, in the Colombian city of Barranquilla into a wealthy family. The future pop diva's father, William, is Lebanese, and her mother, Nydia, has Spanish and Italian roots. The future star is the only child in the family, but she has 8 half-brothers and sisters from her father's previous marriages. Shakira grew up a gifted child. At 1.5 years old, she knew the alphabet. At 3, she could read and write. And at 4, she was completely ready for school. The parents were proud of their daughter's achievements, so they decided to have her abilities tested by specialists, who after a series of studies, concluded that the girl was a child prodigy. Looking ahead, it is worth noting that Shakira's IQ is currently 140, which is an indicator of genius and a record among the stars of world pop music. In addition, she speaks 6 languages. The father owned a jewelry store, and in his spare time, he wrote various stories. He passed down his talent to Shakira, and at 4, she wrote her first poem. And at 7, she asked her parents to buy her a typewriter. Many of the girl's works form the basis of the now famous tracks. She was also fond of painting, so her parents predicted that their daughter would either become a great writer or an artist, but they were wrong. One day, 4-year-old Shakira found herself with her father in an ethnic restaurant, where a dancer performed a belly dance to Oriental motifs. The girl was so impressed by what she saw that she climbed onto the table and started repeating the moves, which caused a round of applause among the guests. Having received incredible pleasure from public attention, she decided she would become a performer. Shakira studied at a Catholic school, and as early as elementary school, took part in creative activities. At the same time, the girl enrolled in the school choir, although she didn't attend it for long, since the choir conductor once said that her singing was like the bleating of a goat. Fortunately, Shakira didn't give up and began to practice singing and dancing with even greater enthusiasm. At 8, the girl wrote the first song, Tus gafas oscuras, Your Dark Glasses, and dedicated it to her father, who wore dark glasses for years to hide his grief over his eldest son's death. It is worth noting that William is a wonderful father who spares neither time nor money for raising his children. However, for Shakira to learn to appreciate what she had, the man once took her to a local park to show how orphans live there. What she saw remained in her memory forever, and she decided that when she became famous, she would help those in need. She kept her word, but more on that later. At 10, Shakira won her first talent show, after which she started getting invites to various events in her hometown, where she earned initial public recognition. At one of the competitions, theater producer Monica Ariza spotted her and decided to promote the young talent. Monica organized auditions for the girl, and one of them was a success. The Colombian division of Sony Music signed a contract with 13-year-old Shakira. The singer's debut album, titled Magia, was released in 1991 and consisted of 9 songs written by Shakira. Even though the album was not commercially successful, the singer gained popularity at home. At that time, the young girl fell in love for the first time. Her partner was a neighborhood boy, Oscar Prado, but after several years, the feelings gradually died down. In February 1993, Shakira represented Colombia at a music festival in Chile, where she took 3rd place. Interestingly, one of the judges was 20-year-old Ricky Martin, who gave his vote to the girl. In March of the same year, the singer's second album, Peligro, was released, which turned out to be a commercial failure, just like the previous one. At that time, Shakira was disappointed in herself and decided to take a break from her music career to finish school. Since then, her first albums have been discontinued and are now considered not official, but rather promotional. After graduating from school, Shakira moved with her mother to the Colombian capital, Bogota. In 1994, she got the lead role in the series El Oasis, a Colombian reinterpretation of Romeo and Juliet, and even performed the title song of the telenovela. By the way, this was not Shakira's first appearance on the screen. She had previously had cameo roles in various TV series. At the same time, Sony planned to terminate the contract with the singer, but she presented the song Donde Estás Corazón, which instantly became a hit. And after that, Sony decided to give Shakira another chance and finance her 3rd album, Pies Descalzos, which was released in 1995 in Latin America and a year later in the USA. The album skyrocketed to the top of the charts and sold more than 5 million copies. It included 11 songs, among which was the single Estoy Aquí. In 1996, the singer went on an international tour and became the first Colombian to conquer the world. In the same year, Shakira received awards in the categories Album of the Year, Video of the Year, and the Best New Artist at the Billboard Latin Music Awards. In 1997, it became known that the singer was dating actor Osvaldo Rios. The lovers hid their relationship and practically didn't appear together in public. Even though the couple was called the most beautiful in Latin America, their relationship lasted only 8 months. Interestingly, at that time, Shakira was offered the role of Elena in The Mask of Zorro, which she refused, thinking she didn't speak English well enough. As a result, the role went to actress Catherine Zeta-Jones. In 1998, the singer's 4th album, Donde Están los Ladrones, was released, the title of which translates to Where Are the Thieves? Shakira came up with it after an incident at an airport when unknown people stole most of her belongings, including new song lyrics, which forced her to start working on the album from scratch. The album reached number 131 on the Billboard 200 chart and held 1st place in the US Latin Albums chart for 11 weeks. Among the 11 compositions, the song Ciega, Sordomuda was the most popular, especially among girls who started imitating Shakira's style by braiding their hair just like her. Since then, it has sold over 7 million copies worldwide and 1.5 million in the US alone, making the record one of the best-selling albums in Spanish in the States. In 1999, Shakira was nominated for a Grammy for the first time in the category Best Latin Rock or Alternative Album, and also the MTV Video Music Award in the category Favorite International Artist for the song Ojos Así, which she won. With the same song, the pop diva performed at the Latin American Grammy ceremony, where she was nominated in 5 categories, 2 of which she won. At that time, not only her music career was gaining momentum, but also her personal life. In 2000, Shakira began dating lawyer Antonio de la Rua, the son of the then president of Argentina. He became not only the singer's lover, but also her business manager. In 2001, Shakira released a live album recorded during her performance on MTV Unplugged, which sold 5 million copies. The commercial success was also solidified by the Grammy Award in the category Best Latin Pop Album. After reaching such heights, the singer decided to conquer the international arena. In the same year, she released her 5th studio and first English language album, Laundry Service, which included 13 songs, among which Objection and Whenever Wherever were particularly popular. The latter reached 6th place on the Hot 100 in the USA, and not only made Shakira famous all over the world, but also became her signature song. Many fans were unhappy that their favorite singer had chosen American pop music over her authentic folk motifs. Nevertheless, the album received many awards and with more than 20 million copies sold, has become the most successful in her career and remains so to this day. At the end of 2002, the singer went on an international tour for 6 months, during which she gave more than 60 concerts in different parts of the world and managed to earn about $72 million. At the end of the tour, a live album, Live and Off the Record, was released, which reached #1 on the Top Music Videos chart in 2004. In 2005, Shakira released her 6th album, Fiación Oral Volume 1, in Spanish. The album reached platinum status 11 times and won 15 awards, including the next Grammy. It has also become commercially successful. For example, in Mexico, the entire stock was sold out on the first day. Among the 12 tracks of the album, the most successful track was the passionate duet with Spanish singer Alejandro Sanz, La Tortura. In the same year, the singer's 7th album, Oral Fixation, Volume 2, came out, a continuation of the previous one, which included songs only in English. The album failed to achieve great success in the US, but the single Hips Don't Lie, featuring Wyclef Jean, was a smash hit, becoming the best-selling single in the last 10 years.
Oh, baby, when you talk like that, you make a woman go mad.
In 2006, Shakira went on to a concert tour that lasted more than a year and became the longest and most expensive in her career. The singer gave 116 concerts in 37 countries around the world. In 2007, the artist recorded a duet with Beyoncé, Beautiful Liar, which set a Billboard Hot 100 chart record. The single skyrocketed from 94th to 3rd place, which at that time was the biggest climb in the chart's history. At the beginning of 2008, Shakira ended up in 4th place in Forbes' ranking of the highest paid performers. A few months later, she signed a 10-year contract for $300 million with Live Nation, the largest concert organizer. The following year, Shakira starred in the TV series Ugly Betty, where she played herself. She also released her 8th studio album, She-Wolf, in which the single with the same name reached the top of the Latin American charts and achieved worldwide success. At the same time, it became known that the singer's personal life wasn't as smooth. And after 11 years of being in a relationship with Antonio, they broke up by mutual consent. During this whole time, the couple wasn't officially married. In many interviews, the girl has repeatedly stated that a piece of paper is not important to her. However, according to some reports, Shakira wasn't satisfied with the marriage contract, which her lover's father demanded her to sign. The concerns were not unfounded, because a few years after the breakup, Antonio sued the singer with a demand to pay $100 million compensation for his contribution to her music career. Fortunately, the court rejected the claim of the pop diva's ex-boyfriend. In 2010, Shakira launched her perfume line with 3 fragrances, S by Shakira, Dance, and Love Rock. And in the same year, the Colombian was honored to record the official song for the FIFA World Cup in South Africa. The groovy track, Waka Waka, was successful and reached the top 20 in the world charts.
This is Africa. Samina, mina, waka, waka,
On the set of the video, the girl met the Barcelona defender Gerard Piqué, who fell in love with her. They were able to see each other for the second time only during a festive dinner in honor of the winning team. Piqué admitted that he won the championship not only for the title, but also for the sake of seeing the pop diva again. That's when the relationship started, but it became public only a year later. Interestingly, the lovers were born on the same day. Only Shakira is 10 years older than her partner. In the fall of 2010, the singer presented her 9th studio album, Sale El Sol, after which she went on an international tour. The song Loca was received the best by the fans.
And I'm crazy, but you make it. Loca, loca, loca.
In 2012, Shakira took part in the American show The Voice, replacing Christina Aguilera in the mentor's chair. With her appearance, the ratings of the show significantly increased, and the pop diva earned $12 million for her participation. Meanwhile, the artist's relationship with Piqué reached a new level. In 2012, Shakira moved in with her lover in Barcelona, and a year later gave birth to their son Milan. Family life made changes to the singer's music career. Due to the birth of a child, the release of her 10th album, Shakira, on which she began working in 2011, was postponed to 2014. One of the album's songs was reworked for the FIFA World Cup, and the track, La La La, performed together with Carlina Brown, became the second anthem of the World Cup.
How dare you?
In 2015, Shakira gave birth to her second son, Sasha, and the following year, she voiced the gazelle in the cartoon Zootopia. Initially, her character looked a little different, but at Shakira's request, the gazelle's hips were enlarged. In 2017, the singer's 11th album, El Dorado, was released, the main hit of which was the track Chantaje, featuring Colombian singer Maluma. The record brought Shakira the 3rd Grammy Award, which made her the only Latin American artist to achieve such results. In 2018, the singer went on a world tour, and in 2020, together with Jennifer Lopez, she performed at halftime of the Super Bowl, to which 103 million people tuned in. Today, the singer continues to make music and is working on another album. Recently, she presented the single Don't You Worry with Black Eyed Peas and David Guetta.
Gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright.
It also became known that in June of this year, the pop diva broke up with her spouse, and they're now fighting for custody of the children. According to some reports, the reason was the numerous infidelities of the soccer player. Soon, Shakira plans to return to the USA. As of today, the pop diva's fortune is estimated at $300 million, which she earned through music, TV projects, and advertising contracts. Shakira appeared in advertisements for brands such as Pepsi, Activia, Pandora, Oral-B, Nokia, Sony Ericsson, Angry Birds Game, and many others. And last year, she sold the publishing rights to 145 of her songs to a British investment company. According to some reports, the transaction amount exceeds $100 million. The singer owns expensive real estate in different parts of the world. In 2012, together with Piqué, she bought a house in Barcelona for $5.8 million, where the star couple lived with their children. Orange trees grow on the terrace, and the house has several bedrooms, a living room, and a library. Before meeting the soccer player, Shakira lived in Miami. The singer bought the Snow White Villa back in 2001. A building with an area of about 8,600 square feet has a spacious kitchen and living room, 6 bedrooms, and a room for rewards. Outside, there is a terrace with a bar and a huge swimming pool. A few years ago, the singer put their property up for sale for $11 million. In addition, Shakira owns a house in Colombia, a villa in Cyprus, as well as the island of Bonds Cay in the Bahamas. The latter was bought together with her friends in 2005 for $16 million. A resort area was supposed to be built on the site, but the business plan, the cost of which is approximately $485 million, has not yet been implemented. The pop diva also owns a collection of cars, including Audi A7 Sportback, Mercedes-Benz SLK 250, Tesla Model S, BMW X6, Audi Q7, and Mercedes-Benz SL 550 for $115,000. It is known that Shakira also owns a private jet. The singer spends a significant share of her fortune on charity. Back in the late 1990s, she founded a charity foundation where she sends 50% of her payouts to help orphans and poor families. One time, Shakira starred in a champagne commercial, and all of the $660,000 earned, she gave to the construction of 2 schools in Colombia and Haiti. She is also a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, and last year, together with Prince William, released the documentary, The Earthshot Prize, Repairing Our Planet. In 2011, Shakira received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and in 2013, she appeared in the ranking of the most influential women in the world. Barbie dolls were produced in her image, and a metal statue was erected in her native Colombia in honor of the pop diva. All of this suggests that Shakira managed not only to achieve commercial success in her music career, but also earn the love of millions. Do you like the Colombian singer? If you like the video, leave a like and also subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss anything interesting.